I haven't always been mentally there. It took a while. It took a long, hard battle. That time of my life when I was a boy, evolving into a black man, I was trapped. Trapped to the point where I was at a standstill in life. I didn't know who I was, what I wanted, who I wanted to be. I was held in bondage in my own mind, being a prisoner of my own thoughts and emotions. My fear acted as a personal holding cell for my spirit, and my arrogance and pride became cuffs around my wrist and shackles around my feet. I was trapped in being this typical black man stereotype: prideful, aggressive, problematic, emotionally unavailable. But you want to know something crazy? The crazy part is I didn't tell anyone, not a soul. No one needed to hear my problems, because I'll eventually get over it, right? But I didn't. And when I finally broke, I felt it. I felt this dark presence in me that tore me apart, piece by piece, to where I was stripped from my own identity. I wasn't the same person anymore. I had officially become a prisoner of my own mentality.
You don't have to do it yourself.
Man, can you back up, please? We're trying to give him some air. We're gonna get an ambulance, all right?
Yeah, back up. Y'all got him on the floor. Y'all got him on the floor. Y'all talking about back up. You hear this? Now they're trying to get him an ambulance after they harassed him, slammed him down. NYPD. You understand?
A chokehold is a process of core-sided submission that is self-reinforcing. A chokehold justifies additional pressures on the body because the body does not come into compliance. But the body can't come into compliance because of the vice grip that is on it. This is the black experience in the United States. This is how the process of law and order is pushed African American men into criminal systems. This is how the system is built on purpose and
I can't breathe.
Your feelings on police brutality?
Police brutality is something I take very serious, and I think society should take it very serious as well. There's been too many instances where a black man who has been doing what he has the God-given right to do, such as standing in his backyard, have been killed for nonsense because of someone's feelings or thoughts that they're endangering someone. I think police don't take the full actions of looking at a situation before taking an action. However, they will hesitate with a white man or a white woman, or even argue with them and not do anything about it, such as pull out a gun or take any physical action. Yet with a black man or a black woman, they waste no time and waste no energy to, in their sense, holding them down or reprimanding someone who they feel is in violation of the law.
Okay, so what do you think is going on in a black man's mind when he's getting beaten down in front of the police and there's a little black boy watching him?
I think there are two things, well not just two, multiple things going on in the black man's mind when a situation like that is occurring. The first thing, of course, is why this happened to me. I'm not being rebellious. I'm not trying to cause any more trouble or cause any more harm to myself or anyone else. So why are they going as far as to take this action? And I can only imagine having to look up and seeing that another young black male is looking at me going through this. As a man, it's embarrassing. As a man, it's humiliating. Your character and your morals are tested in that moment. You try your best to be a citizen, try your best to live your life as a black man, and you're being taken down and being humiliated in a sense. So I feel like humiliation, defeat, and confusion are all emotions that are felt in a time or in a situation such as that.
There are no rules to drowning. It doesn't even have to be water. Depression can swallow you from the inside until your lungs are two soaked sandbags too heavy for your chest. The only thing worse than wet socks is a damp body, and these days, this body can't get out of bed. It too is drenched, bruised. Depression will toss you like a whirlpool. How aggressive it is. How it makes an ocean of your home. How it treats you like a watershed. Leave you teary-eyed, a broken levee spilling from your body, unsure if the tears are running from you or toward you. Depression can bring the storm. Can develop like moist mold until it has rid you from your body, can make a deep blue sea of your carcass, leave you drooling against the dark night, howling at the moon for forgiveness. Depression will put you on display, shape-shift you into a beach, make you look nice, and your mother will visit and laugh and share pictures all the while she is crushing you and your heart. Now filled with seaweed, has got caught in everything and anything, and nothing is beautiful anymore. Depression will toss you underwater and make your world gray. Still the color from your eye, they tell you there is light at the end of the tunnel, but never how much you have to swim. Never how some tides sweep black boys under without a whisper. And when the night, as prudent as your mother, pulls you from the deepest of oceans and dresses you in its glow, allow it to rock you silent.
When it comes to expressing myself, I've never really had an issue when it comes to expressing myself in regard to my family. On the other hand, sometimes in fear of my family feeling insecure of how I feel about something, I will mask it. Because you want to, at the end of the day, make sure that your family always feels secure in knowing that you are stable and secure in whatever we deal with, we're always going to come out on top.
Okay. Have there been times that, you've been going through something, but you didn't want to show your family? Like, you didn't want them to worry, but deep down you was breaking down.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think every man has gone through that in their life. I think that is a sign of protection, not a sign of vulnerability, because as stated earlier, you want to make sure that your family always knows that everything's going to be okay. And sometimes as a man, you deal with things, or as I say, suffer in silence for the assurance of the people in your family of knowing that they're always going to be fine. And at the end of it all, you deal with it and you process it and you get through it, and they are a lot of times your inspiration in getting through it, because you want to make sure that they are fine. Have felt at my lowest. There were some times that I was dealing with making some bad decisions in my life, and it was affecting my family. And the one thing that I can honestly say that helped me to get through it was pouring myself into things other than myself. Things such as my career, working with the band program, working with other children, mentoring, giving them inspiration and hope, and letting them know that they can win and they can succeed. pouring all of my passions and all of my gifts into that. And that also inspired me to know that I am going to be okay. And it gave me the hope of continuing to move forward. It gave me the desires, and it gave me the motivation to continue to press through. I say all the time, you got to press through to get to. And excuse me, that was one of those moments where I had to live what I was talking, because I had to press through to get to. I think that in life, men as well as everybody goes through choices that you make, and the choices that we make may always have the best intention but may not always have the best effect. And because of that, you have to deal with the consequences of those choices. And when you deal with those consequences, it doesn't just affect you. It may affect others around you, friends, family, and you got to be able to pick up the pieces, if you will, and you got to be able to move forward, because it's bigger than you. Because if they know that you're going to make it, then that helps them to be inspired to know that everybody else is going to be okay, that's connected to you as well.
We are honest with our feelings. That we can express ourselves in a healthy way. I don't understand why you have to walk around 24/7 with these suppressed emotions, killing yourself. You're literally walking around planet Earth, killing yourself to maintain an image. And 9 times out of 10, no one is even caring about the image. Again, we've bought this false identity. Us, black men, we've bought into like this false identity, this false concept of how we're supposed to maneuver life. Being Mr. Entrepreneur. No. I don't believe in showing emotion makes you weak. What is I want to know where that stems from. To me, it doesn't make sense. Like I said, it doesn't make sense for me to walk around this earth suppressing emotions, knowing that it's killing me. I'm literally killing myself just because I don't want other people to think that I'm a sissy or I'm soft, I'm emotional. Because those people have different lives. You know what I mean? Those people, they're worried about their own lives. They're worried about their kids. They're worried about getting their car repaired. They're worried about paying their bills. They're not worried about, oh, he must be broke because he's so emotional. It's just, it's like this false narrative.
Man, the black man, the most oppressed group in America.
I see you. And I'm not just talking about your physical, I mean your mental. You're broken yet beautiful. You're trying to keep it together, but yet it's killing you, and you even contemplating if it's worth being distressful. Society wants to label you as aggressive, thugs. But they want us to embrace school shooters with warm thoughts and caring hugs. Reporters even say that he just missing his parental love. But never mind the fact that they came into our communities and introduced it to crack. War on drugs. They traded our fathers for guns, left mothers to raise bastard sons. And we was praying that you make it to see 21. I see you. And I'm not just talking about your physical. I mean your mental. You're broken yet beautiful. You're trying to keep it together and it's killing you. Society wants to replace your name with labels. They want the world to know that they hate you. They fear your power. So they shackle you. They want to make you inferior. They brainwash you so you forget that you are a mirror made in the image of the one who is superior. My king, breathe. Lean on me. Forget the generation of stress, triumph, and suffering. Just breathe. And forget that they want to label you as weak. My king, you are man, yes, but you are human. Made in the same neurology of the womb of woman you was born in. I see you. I see how your eyes emphasize the words that your lips cannot tell. I see how you prison by the flowing thoughts of your brain cells. I see you. You're screaming in the middle of a silent party, and everybody's headphones is playing the tune of how to help the black male. But our backs are turned against you, and we're missing your view. But King, I see you. And I'm not just talking about your physical, I mean your mental. You are broken yet beautiful. You trying to keep it together, but it's killing you. And you're even contemplating if it's worth being this stressful. My king, take my hand and let me lead you to breakthrough.
Of a healthy mental state. I think also today's society, mental health is something that's completely looked over. A lot of individuals find themselves stressed out not because of the things that's going on in their life physically, but all because of what's going on in their mind mentally. Having a lot of thoughts, a lot of stress on your mind and your body can weigh you down. The mind is a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing to waste, and it's a powerful thing to hold. So to have so much stress coming towards it can be a bad thing. I think as black men pertaining to mental health, I think we don't elaborate or talk enough or talk at all about the stress that we endure as black men. I think as black men in society, and over time, we've had to serve as the king or the head of the house, the honcho. So showing emotions or showing emotions are a sign of weakness or a sign of you falling back or falling down, and no black man who is running or the head of the household or kingdom in a sense wants to admit to that. I think it's something that as we move forward, society should change. There's been a lot of instances where mental health has been the reason behind it. So-and-so have said they felt this way and they're going to take this action, but because it's looked at as something minor, it was never taken as serious, which turned into a more serious situation. Health is wealth. Like I said, your mind is a powerful thing, and it's something that you shouldn't allow to go to waste. A lot of individuals, a lot of people in life don't get the opportunity to, I don't want to say not like function normally. Some people are born with mental defects and mental disabilities and aren't able to have that full range of health in their mind. And there's those who are blessed with the full management of their thought processes, and they choose to do the wrong things or let their mind go to waste, which itself is another draining and negative factor. Health is wealth. It's art in itself. Your mind can carry you places further than you ever thought. And if you have a strong mentality, you literally can break through any challenge or boundary that you feel were holding you in. For one, it's something small such as being at the gym. And because your muscles and you feel weak that you can't lift or push up on the weight. And then the mind you recollect and you regroup yourself and you realize that you can push through, you have the strength to do it, and you go ahead and finish it. And then you allow yourself to be encouraged and reassured that you can push through certain boundaries. Or certain things when it comes to certain stress factors, you know, such as losing your job or, you know, failing an assignment. And the moment you fail the assignment, the moment you lose your job, and of course you're down and out. But it's two things you can do at that moment. You continue to be negative and live in your situation, live in that negativity and drown. Or you can use the negativity as a factor to push you through it, to find other avenues, to find other circumstances, to find other outcomes of life that can better yourself and better the platform that you are currently in. So I think the mental health right now is huge. I think that it's very, very low. I think that we suffer a lot with mental health issues because of the unfair things that are out there. And I know that if we don't do anything about mental health, it's going to be something that's going to cause a person individually to have that feeling of self-esteem drop, have that feeling of making bad choices, to be more aware and more present in their life. So I think we have to do something to address that and fix it.
I think that goes way back to the history of how black men were treated, you know, when slavery times. And I think through generations it's just been passed down that you have to be a stern individual, a hard guy. But I think I learned pretty much so from my grandfather that, you know, you really don't have to be that way. You can still be that stern individual, but at the same token, you can let others know how you feel, and do those things that you feel are correct. You know, there's no particular thing that a black man has to feel, say, do, or be. That part comes from within. And as long as you display it and can tell, you know, your sons why you did it or how you felt at the time, then in turn, as generations go by, I think black men will start displaying their feelings outwardly more, or explaining to their children how and why they act.
Okay.
It's about the people you have around you when you're being raised. I was raised in a house by my mom, my grandmother, and I pretty much was the only male in the house after my brother went off to school. And my grandfather was the only male there. Of course, he was much older. But I think a lot of people use it as an excuse. Yes, there are certain things about becoming a man that a lady can't really tell you how to do, simply because they're ladies. But a person coming from a house that has just one parent, if the right mindset is put in the child when they're young, can be anything he or he wants to be, and can thrive and be a good citizen, a good man and a good citizen once he gets older. I think it's sort of a cop-out, and guys use it as an excuse. Well, I came from a broken home, or I was raised in a house with just my mom. But you still can learn the basics of being what a man is, and when you get older, in turn display that in front of, you know, your sons or your nephews or whatever males are in your family.
I would say I didn't have a lot of mental stress until I reached college. College is definitely the defining year of your life. You take on different responsibilities, different actions, different positions that all weigh in on your everyday life. Me in particular, I'm a psychology major, human services minor. I work 2 jobs, and I'm a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And I'm part of the New Theta chapter. And in the New Theta chapter, I've held positions such as president, vice president, historian, treasurer, financial secretary. So dealing with all those things at one time, you begin to feel overwhelmed. You have a lot on your plate at once, and it's in times and moments where I personally felt like I don't know how I'm going to do it all. There's moments where I have said to myself, it's just like, I don't know if I can make it through this day, or I don't know if I can push through. I just want to sleep. And then I will always go back to my childhood. Growing up, my mother and my grandmother instilled to me that no matter how rough the storm is, no matter how high the tide is, that God will always pull you through. He would never leave you there to drown. He would never leave you there to fall down. If you fall, He has something there for you to get back up on. If you drown, He has something out there floating for you to grab on and make it to dry land. So I learned to rely on my religion and spiritual aspect of life. I learned to talk with God more, and have more conversation, read His devotional. And in the reading of His devotional, I ask for, understanding. And with that, He gives me the words, that message that reassure me that, hey, this is the key you're looking for.
Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. It kills us in all those realms. Like I think there's so much power in being vulnerable. There's so much power in just speaking, expressing how you feel. Again, I think it goes back to the fact of, because we've been taught to never express ourselves, to never be emotional. When we do have these issues of these thoughts of like suicide, depression, anxiety, stress, we walk around with these issues 24/7. We don't tell one soul, and no one knows. And then you have a moment where we snap. We wind up killing somebody. Or better yet, we wind up dying. And then, when the doctor performs the autopsy, the levels of stress, anxiety, high blood pressure are at an all-time high. Why is it at an all-time high? Because he never had the opportunity to express himself. And in him not expressing whatever situation it was that he was going through, maybe he had lost his job, or maybe he got evicted, or maybe he had a run-in with the law, maybe he got into an argument with his girl, maybe someone close to him, like his mother, father, or grandmother, or granddad, like maybe they passed away, or maybe he saw his best friend die in his face. All these traumatic experiences, they create this bubble of where if he doesn't know how to express himself, he's going to internalize all those emotions, and then it could lead to him one day snapping on the wrong person, or it could lead him, to dying. You know what I mean? So it affects every single area. It's okay to talk with your brother and be like, yo, I don't know what I'm gonna do, dog, like Rennes do. It's okay to talk about that, man. We have to get to a certain point, and I'm saying this for black men, like we have to get to a certain point where we just do not care about what society thinks about us. We've done it for far too long. And I think us black men, we're at fault because we've fed into these stereotypes of what society paints us to be. So, us as black men, if we walk around all day thinking we're going to be criminals, then 9 times out of 10, we're going to perform some type of criminal act. Because, the famous saying is you are, whatever it is that you think you become. So if you think you're at the gutter, if you think you're less than, then you're going to start to exempt, to act out those things. So I'm taking a stand right now to challenge us black men, like, yo, we gotta change our mind frame. That sounds like super cliche, but we have to change our mindset, to how we view the world, Like, there are people out there who care about us. Our mothers care about us. Our fathers. Our girlfriends, our grandparents, our aunties, our uncles, our children. They care about us. And we have to get to a point where we can become comfortable within our own selves. I think part of the reason why us as black men, we don't know how to be vulnerable is because we don't know how it is to be comfortable with ourselves. We are, as black men, and I say this wholeheartedly, we play a huge part in the black family. We have a tremendous role in the black family. I feel like as black men, it's our job to be the provider, the protector, the overseer of our family. You know, it's our job to make sure our women are straight. It's our job to make sure our kids are straight, to be taken care of. It's our job, and that can be a stress. You know, even thinking about marriage, like, you know, you as a man, even though it's like 50-50, like this generation we're moving in, it's like we share responsibilities. At the end of the day, if everything heads south, it's on you. Everything falls on you. So just the stress of that, and, you know, just talk about it, man. Talk about, just talk, man. Express yourself. And it's really hard to do that, you know, and I'm gonna speak from personal experience. I've dealt with depression and suicide, like suicidal thoughts. I think it started in middle school, and it died down. Well, I don't want to say it died down, but I think it came to a screeching halt like sophomore year at VCU. So I went through a span of my life where, you know, I dealt with, you know, depression and suicide. Like, I tried to kill myself 3 times. I tried to kill myself 3 times. And it was due to the fact of me not having an outlet. Me buying into the idea of, as a black man, you can't say anything, dog. You gotta walk around, you tough it out, G. You know what I mean? You know, and again, I'm a living witness of it literally killing you. I'm a living witness of walking around with suppressed emotions, trying to make sure everyone else is straight around you. You know, you talking to other people like, yo, you good? You good? But I'm not having anyone ask me that. And I'm literally dying. And it took me going to therapy. Black people, we're scared of therapy. I don't know why. Therapy, along with meeting like my current pastor and me going to therapy, that saved my life, bro. I can be very transparent with you. I'm not sure if I would be here talking to you and talking to you guys if I hadn't gone to therapy and met my pastor. And it took me being vulnerable. It took me peeling back those layers and me being honest with myself. And it's like you have to get to a place where you have to look at yourself in the mirror. And it's ugly. We're afraid of looking in the mirror because it is so ugly. We are afraid of our own reflection. And it's like you have to, as cliche as it sounds, it's like even in our mess, you know, even in our mess that we call this life, God still finds the beauty in this.
It's hard to get rid of the demons inside you. Why? Because they were holding on when no one else did. Seek help. Protect your spirit. Live your life.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. December 23rd, 2009. I attempted to destroy the very temple in which God built just for me. I took a sheet, wrapped it around my neck, and began to pull. So God exited my body with the same intensity as he entered. I continued to pull, and God asked me, "My son, who taught you to hate yourself?" And I sat speechless. To contemplate the reasons in which I didn't deem myself worthy of living, he asked again, "My son, who taught you to hate yourself?" Childhood toys that held no resemblance to my direct ancestry, television, that tries to convince me that the only way to success is drugs, money, and sex, but I never listened. See, I met this woman, Denise. And she had to be Denise of God, because every time she spoke, her wings grew, and her angelic voice turned to the pit of my stomach with Momo to lava than Mount Fuji itself. She warned me about urban street pharmacists, confused with life, selling their false dreams, confusing their whips with the whips of life, snorting coke after coke and in silence. And God began to speak. Words ricocheting off the walls, shattering my very existence. He said, my son, I want you to engage materials that not only look like you, but reflect the morals and ideologies in which you should embody. So take these. This one, his name is Malcolm. Now, although he doesn't play much, he can give one heck of a speech. This one, her name is Harriet, and she can run, swim, and dodge the racist cuts of history without tearing a single piece of fabric. This one, his name is Martin. And he not only captivates your mind, but your body and spirit also. And at that moment, I began to realize that one shouldn't settle for minuscule thoughts, but in fact, dream big. Dream ridiculous dreams, never to be told, and take pride in your senseless rants. And never give up on what truly makes you happy. From a distance, I can hear him faintly, my son, who taught you to hate yourself? I did, my father, and I apologize. And at that moment, he cupped my face into his hands, breathed life into my body, and told me to release my grip, to never give up, and to truly dream big.
Mentality, the characteristic attitude of mind or way of thinking of a person or group.
anxiety, and he was a black man, what advice would you give him?
You know, everything that comes in your life is a test, it's a trial. If you can, and I would talk with them to the point where I would make them look back at everything that they considered bad in their life that happened at one point, and now that they're past that point, it was a learning tool, it was a teaching tool, you know. And yes, at that point in your life, it probably was what you thought was a downfall. But, you know, that which doesn't kill you makes you a stronger person. Or that which doesn't really hurt you for the long run makes you a better person. So everything you go through in life, you just got to use it as a life experience and learn from it. And if you can, pass it on to somebody else so that when they approach that same bridge, they know how to cross it.
All right. Why do you think black people aren't so heavy on the subject to mental health? Like, that's something that we barely talk about. We could talk about sports, We could talk about music. But when it comes to our mental health and how we're feeling, it's hard for us to talk about. And not just black men, like the black community as a whole.
I think that in turn just goes back to years past and generations past. Those things which may have had or left a bad taste in their mouth, in a sense. Things that were not the norm, that they thought other people said or did, and somebody was in their family, they didn't talk about it. If someone had mental issues and they knew it, they still didn't talk about it. It was only talked about maybe amongst your family members or your direct people. And I think that's probably one of the reasons that mental health has probably come to the forefront now, is because when you tell others about situations or things that happen, or when you can have real conversations about these things, it helps the next person who has the same issue, or it helps the next family who has the same issue, or it helps the next family who has someone in their family with those issues. It helps them to learn to cope. And I think that's really what, as a whole, black men and black families don't do. They don't share those things which can help others that they've already experienced.
Good, man? You straight? Like, are you legit good? Like, you know, do you need someone you can talk to? You know what I mean? Like, if you want to grab coffee, if you want to just sit right here, we can talk, man. That segment right there, that is literally the difference between a black man's life being saved. Don't take that lightly. Asking him, like, another black man, yo, you straight, man? Yo, you want to sit? Your energy kind of off, man. I see you've been bugging like these past couple of days. That moment right there, what you created, that can literally be the difference between life and death for a black man. That moment, I can't stress it enough, man. It is so important that we as a black community, that we break the stigma of being emotionally unavailable. It's time that we combat mental illness in the black community. It's time that we address these things, because I think for far too long we've walked around saying, you know, let's go to the altar, like that. Let's go to God. Let's pray about this. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm an advocate for prayer. Listen, I believe in God. You know, TLC, what's up? But also, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with going to a therapist. There's nothing wrong going to a psychiatrist. Like, these people are trained in these areas of dealing with traumatic experiences. So if you're having an issue, to me, it would make sense to go with someone who's an expertise in that field so they can help you get through it. I think it's important for us black men, because, you know, we're already being incarcerated. We're already being incarcerated at an enormous rate. You know, in between us being in jail or in between us being in the grave, we gotta find a space to where, you know, we say enough is enough.
I just want to know, are you good, man? Oftentimes we allow our pride to overcome us, and we forget to ask the question, are you good, man? I just want to tell you that you are strong, you are powerful, you are bold, you are blatant, You are here for a reason. I just gotta know, are you good, man? Because at the end of the day, we have to check on one another. We have to be there for one another. Community is community, but it's not community if we aren't together. So I need to know, are you good, man? Don't allow your pride to get in the way. Don't allow what people say to get you down. Because at the end of the day, we need to know, are you good, man? Are you? Not just the type of good that's good for social media, but the type of good that's good for your mind, your health, and your body. I need to know, are you good, man?
You good, man? It's okay to feel down. It's okay to let a lot of things get on your plate. But what's most important is allowing yourself to get back up. Know that you can be encouraged to do anything you want and you can push through anything that's falling in your face. When you fall down, know that you can stand back up and walk again. When you feel like everything is trampling over you and you are being pushed down to the ground, know that you can push them off and stand back up again. God didn't make you to fall down and stay down. He made you to endure your troubles and your challenges so that you can get up and be better than you were before. So that you can reach platforms that you desire to be on. So that you can see past the blurred lines, the clouds, the fog, the mist, the gaps, the trenches that fall down below. You are far greater. You are better than you ever thought you could be. You were built with a purpose, an amazing mind, and a great future. You good, man?
You good, man. When you realize that you're not going through anything that any other black man hasn't been through, or any other man hasn't been through. You good, man, when you pass it on, the problems you have, the things you've been through, so that the next generation can experience them, but not experience them with the turmoil that you had. You good, man, simply because you are a black man. The black man has survived through years of turmoil, racism, bigotry, being belittled, and he's still the man. And I say he's the man. You good, man, because he's the man, the original man. Black man is the original man. There's no better man than him. That's why I say, you good, man.
You good, man? I see your hurt. I see how you try to keep it together. I see how you fear and tense up when you walk in certain places. And I just want to know, are you good, man? I understand that you try to keep it together. I understand that you don't want to be looked at as weak. I understand that you try to keep this bold facade, but are you good, man? I feel it. Me standing here as a black woman, I feel it. We fear for you. I fear for you. And it's like nobody else is standing with you. And it's like you're in this dark place alone, surrounded by your own feelings and your own thoughts. In a corner, and you're screaming in this hollow room that's so sound suppressed. You good, man. I love you. I'm here for you. I'm your shoulder to cry on. I'm your vented area. You good, man.
You good, man? Let me ask you this again. You good, man? I'm asking you this because a lot of times as African American males, we don't think we're good. We go through a lot of things in life. We go through ups and downs. We have the different things in life hitting us left and right. People don't understand what's going on. Sometimes people at home don't understand what's going on. And sometimes we don't even understand what's going on. And it can draw us to a sense of wanting to feel that we're not good. You good, man? Don't ever think in your life, man, that you're not. Because let me tell you something. God doesn't put more on us than we can bear. You got to first understand that. If you have any type of spiritual understanding about you, understand that we don't operate on this on our own. We're not on this earth by ourselves. Even though we may feel like we're alone, we're not alone. So you good, man? I'm telling you, you are. Understand, man, at the end of the day, all we have is us, man, as a people. As black men, we have to come together, man, to make sure that we uplift each other. We have to encourage one another, man. As I said before, don't wait for your ship to come in. Jump in the ocean and reach out and swim to your ship and get it, man. Because nobody's going to do for you more than you do for you, but you, and the superior being is guiding you to do it. So I want to make sure that you understand at the end of the day, I don't care what you're going through. You're going through it to get you to the desired end that God has for your life. You're going through it because God has already ordered your steps, bro. And he's already given you the movements and the steps to make in regard to the chapters in life that you can come back and help somebody else. What you go through is not about you. Everything that we go through is about being able to pull somebody else through it. I've told people all the time, in order for you to be successful, you need to have successors. In order for me to be able to get to the top of the mountain, I got to go through a journey. And my journey is always not going to be easy. I'm going to have bumps in the road. Sometimes I might trip and fall. Sometimes I might even scratch my knee. But I keep pushing forward. I keep going higher and higher until I get to the top of that mountain. And when I get to the top of that mountain, I can look down on that mountain and feel the sense of accomplishment. I can feel the sense of utopia, bro. I can feel the sense that I did it. But I understand when I get to the top of that mountain that it wasn't even about the mountaintop at all. It was about the journey that got me there. So you good, man? I know you good. You got to understand that you're good, because what you're going through right now, if it's tough, congratulations. Because that means that you're on your way to something great. If it's tough right now, hang in there, man, because you're going to make it through. And you're pulling somebody else with you who's sitting on the sideline watching what you're dealing with. Trust and believe me, what you go through is not something that you're going through by yourself. Somebody's watching your movie being played, bro. They're eating popcorn and looking at it, and they want to see the end of that story. You want to make sure that the end of your story is always going to be the happy ending that you desire, man, so that you can sit back and you can tell somebody you can too. So I'm going to tell you like this. Don't worry about asking yourself a question. Are you good, man? Like I'm telling you like that. You want to always sit on the side of victory and say, you good, man. I already know in my heart you good. So sit back and enjoy it, man, and understand that the life that you're learning and the life that you're living right now is already preordained for you to be successful with it. So you good, man. All is well. Hang in there. You're going to be all right.